Hello everyone, this is Vishwas and welcome back to our micro front-end crash course series. If you're following along with me till now, like we have created a couple of videos on micro front-end where we have seen how exactly we can integrate our child React or Vue.js application into React parent micro front-ends. Also now, if you look at our host applications, right? Here we have child application is coming from Vue.js. Then we have this food list that is coming from another application. For that, we have created a generic component. And finally, we have third application for product list. And for today, what we will do, we will create one more application or one more child application in Vanilla.js, and we will integrate that Vanilla.js application into our parent React micro frontends. So we will show that application somewhere here. Also, if you haven't watched my previous videos, that means these two videos, I will highly recommend you to go through those videos before continue on current video and get more understanding around the micro frontends. Now let's begin with today's implementation, and for that let me go to the VS Code. In VS Code, we will see existing four applications, right? We have this MF app parent application, and we have three child applications, right? The one is component, second one is to-do list. Those two are in React, and the third one is Vue app, right? That is present in Vue.js. And what I did, I added one more application here. Um, this is simple vanilla JS application under the JS app folder. Now, if you go to JS app folder, you will see at root level, we have package.json file. The configuration is very simple here. We have a couple of scripts. One is for starting the application and one is for creating the build. And then we have some of the dev dependencies. Most of the or almost all the dependencies are related to Webpack, where we have some of the plugins, some of the loaders, and then we have Webpack specific dependencies. Then if you go to Webpack config file, we will see we are importing some of the plugins on the top. Then we have the entry at index.js file. Our application is running in development mode, and this application will run on port number 3004. Then we have some of the plugins to handle the different things. And finally, we have modules, that means loaders to handle the different file types. Now, if you go to SRC folder, we have only one JS file, and that is index.js. This JS file is importing logo and some CSS. And what we are doing here, we are taking a couple of div elements with ID logo and food items, and we are dynamically assign logo as well as some HTML text to it. Now, if you go to HTML, you will see logo and food items as ID. If you look at here, you will see these two are available here. The one is logo and second one is food items. And then we have some style here. This is simple CSS. Now let me open the terminal and run our new application. If you look at here, all the existing four applications are running on different terminal, and I will add one more terminal here. Now I will do CD and go to JS app, and now I will do npm start. Let's wait until it's complete. It will run our JavaScript application on port number 3004. Yes, our application is running now on port number 3004. Yeah, the application is loaded successfully. On top, we are importing one of the image dynamically through the JavaScript, and then we have some food items. Very simple application. We are not focusing much on CSS. Our aim is to understand the Microfrontend with Webpack module federation plugin. Now, what we will do, we will integrate this simple JavaScript application into my parent, right? Same we did for Vue.js. We will show somewhere here our JavaScript application, right? And for that, let's start with changes in our child application Webpack config file. That means I will go to VS Code, and if you go to our JS app and look for Webpack config file, now we will add the module federation plugin. Now, I think you are familiar with the structure, right? Things are very simple. I will import module federation plugin here. It will be a named import, and I will import it from Webpack. For that, we will use require and then Webpack, right? Under Webpack, we have container. And now we will import the module federation plugin as a named export. For that, we have module federation plugin. Now copy this, go to the plugin section. The plugin section is available here, and I will add plugin here. To add the plugin, we will start with new keyword, and for module federation plugin, we are expecting object. Object configuration is simple now. We are familiar with it now. The first property is name. We can give any name of your choice, and I will give name as a JS app. Then second property is file name, and we are following standard here, and the name is remote entry.js, right? E capital. And then third, we are exporting the component from our child applications, right? For that, we will go third property as a exposes. Exposes will be array. The key will be the name of your component. We can give it as a your choice, and I will give name as a JS app. Now the value will be the exact path from where we want to load that component. And if you look at here, our application is basically bootstrapping from index.js file, right? So we will give path of your index.js, src/index.js. Save the changes. I think only those changes we will require in child Webpack config file. As we made changes in our Webpack config file, let's rerun our application again and see if it is working as expected. Let me run it, and for we will use npm start command. Let's wait until it's complete. Yeah, the application is open in new terminal and it is working fine now, right? Now we will move to the next step, and the next step is now we will require changes in our parent Webpack config file, right? Where we will import the component exported from our child application. Now, before starting changes in our parent application, let's see if we are able to see the exported components here. Yeah, the module federation plugin exported all the required configuration here. And if you search for index, you will see the index.js file is available somewhere in the export configuration. Now let's go to the VS Code and start the changes for our parent application. For that, things are simple. Let me go to MF app and look for our Webpack config file. Let me close this terminal for now. Yeah, now if I go to top, we will see we already have module federation plugin, and we will require changes in our remotes object, right? Where we will export some of the component from our JavaScript application. For that, configuration is simple now. The first name is basically the name of your choice, and this will be the name of the component, and I will give name as a JS app host here. Now in the value property, the first thing we need to use the name of your application. For that, in JS app, you will see the name of application is available here. Let me copy this, use it, add it here, and then we have @ symbol and path of your remote entry.js file. That path we will find here, right? Yes, let me add it and save the changes. As we made changes in our parent Webpack config file, and I think only those changes we will be required in the file. So let me stop our server and run it again so that the changes will be reflected in our parent application. Yeah, the parent application open and it working as expected. So now let's work on the next thing, that is adding the component in the app.js file, right? Now, if you go to app.js, right, in the src and app.js, we will see we are importing most of the components here, right? And for that, what I will do, I will try to simply just import the component here, right? For that, I will use the import. If you look at here and look for our React application, we are importing some of the default export, right? But that is not case of with our JavaScript application. That is just returning us the index.js file, and that JS file is having everything, right? So for that, we just import our component by using this kind of name. And for that, the first parameter will be the name that we are using in our parent Webpack config file, right? If you go to map app and look for this particular name, it will be coming as a first part here. And then second part will be name from your uh, child application file, where the name we will be using from exposes object. I think you are familiar with now this because we are working on similar thing from last 4 applications. And once you are familiar with this thing, implementation is very easy. Let me save these changes. And now if you run our parent application, we will see our application is not working now. To understand the error, I just need to inspect the element and look for the console. And we will see cannot set property of null, and we are setting some src property, right? The error is really simple. Like whenever we are exporting our React or Vue component, right? The JSX code is available with it. But now if you look for the index.js of our JS application, you will see we are using some properties here, right? We are trying to access some of the element with ID, and we are not able to find that in our parent application, right? If you are looking for logo as well as food items, that is not available in our parent application. For that, what I will do, I will just copy the required content from here. This is one of the simple way, like we can copy the minimal HTML from your child application and add it in parent application. Or there could be a other way where we can use the classes or function and directly export our HTML to parent application. But for that, what I will do, I will go to the app.js and in my parent application, right, we will have index.js file, right? So just after the root, I will add this particular HTML. Let's save the changes and try to refresh our application, and we will see our application is working as expected now, right? Yes. As we have added this particular HTML below our root element, so we are expecting our JS application should load at the end. Let's see. See here, our application is working now, right? And we successfully imported our JavaScript child microfront into the our React parent application. Now, as we have added this at the end of the application, we might be have a requirement to add it anywhere, right? Suppose I want to add this after our Vue.js application, right? For that, things are simple. Like instead of adding this HTML here, I will just cut it from here and we'll try to create one more React component, right? The same way we created for our Vue.js, I will create one new component for our JavaScript application and we'll give name as a jsapp.jsx. The first thing I will import React from React. Yeah, then I will create the component. The name of the component is JSApp. This will be a functional component and it will return something, right? And finally, we will export this component. Export default JSApp, right? Yes. And what this component will return? It will return the HTML that we copy pasted, right? Yeah, this is simple HTML and we will copy this, right? Now we are using class here. When we are using JSX, we need to use class name. Yeah, those changes we will be required. And if you go to app.jsx, we are importing the JS component here, right? So I will remove it from here and I will add that in JS app. Let me save the changes. And now what we will do, we will import this JS component or JS app component in my app.js file and then we will basically call that component. For that, let me import it JS app from our components and then JS app, right? And now what I will do, I will go to return statement here and just use this component after our Vue.js component. Yeah, let me go to our parent application and refresh it now. We are getting some error. Let me try to understand the error now. It will saying that cannot set properties of null, right? Again, we got the same error, but let me try to understand it now. I think it took me some time to understand the error, and the error is simple. Like if you familiar with our existing applications, right? The applications consider we have to-do list, right? We have changed some bootstrapping logic, right? Initially, we have code in index.js, and due to loading of asynchronous dependencies, we are using bootstrapping, right? So just we have code in index.js, we moved all the code to our bootstrap.js, and we are importing that bootstrap here, right? And the similar thing we will require in child application now. Let me go to my JS app application. And if you look at here, we have some code in index.js file, right? So let me cut this code, create one more file. The file name is bootstrap.js. You can give name of your choice, but we are following standard and we have given the bootstrap here. And in index.js, we will just import that bootstrap file, right? Yeah, I think only those changes will be required. Let me save the changes and now go to our parent application and refresh it. And you will see the application is working as expected, right? Let me close this and we will see the JavaScript component or JavaScript application is loaded below our Vue.js application. Simple, right? And this is interesting. In our React parent application, we successfully imported one more or couple of React micro frontends. One is Vue.js micro frontend and one is Vanilla.js, plain Vanilla.js micro frontend. I think that's all for this video. We successfully integrated our small JavaScript application into our parent React microfrontends, right? Finally, now if you go to VS Code and look for any of the applications, right? To use the module federation plugin, we need to use the Webpack 5. And if you look at here, we have in-depth configuration of Webpack. Like we are using different kind of plugins here. Then we have module.exports. Then we have mode, entry, output, dev server. Then we have different plugins and we have different kind of loaders. Understanding the Webpack is very essential when we are working on front-end applications. And if you need more understanding or in-depth knowledge about the Webpack, I have created the complete playlist around it. If you look at here, we are starting with Webpack introduction, where we discuss like what is Webpack and why we need it. Then we talk about the Webpack basics, where we discuss around the entry and output parameters. Then we started using the different loaders in Webpack. Like here we have used the image loader. Then we have used CSS and SCSS loader. We talk about the font loader. And after that, we discuss around the multiple entries and output in the Webpack. Like this is not case whenever we are using single page application or the modern uh, frameworks. But if you are going with vanilla JavaScript application, there we could have multiple entries as well as outputs. Then we discuss around the plugin introduction, like what is plugins and why we need it. Then we started with our HTML Webpack plugin, through which we can copy the HTML files from our source code into the destination folder or the build folder. Then we discuss around the copy Webpack plugin. This plugin is used to move the static assets like file or the folders from our code into the final bundle. After that, we talk about the mini CSS extract plugin, where we are able to extract CSS file from our HTML. Then we talk about the Webpack dev server, where we seen how exactly we can set up the dev server and run our application on local. And we also discuss around the hot module replacement. After that, we talk about the what is difference between the production and development mode of the Webpack, and we seen how exactly the production mode provides multiple inbuilt optimization on our final bundle. Then we started around some of the CSS minification or optimization, where we use CSS Minimizer Webpack plugin to minify our CSS. Then we use similar plugin to remove the duplicate CSS. And then we have used Purge CSS plugin, right? Through which we are able to remove the unused CSS from our final bundle. And we have some upcoming videos where we will be discussing about the tree shaking, through which we will see how exactly the unused JavaScript is removed from the final bundle. Then we will talk around the content hashing for long-term caching. After that, we will talk about the Webpack code splitting and how exactly we can analyze our bundle through Bundle Analyzer plugin. And then we have videos for dynamic imports or lazy loading in the Webpack. I'm also planning to cover more videos around the source map, ggip compression, and then we will also cover some of the creating the Webpack configuration for our frameworks as well. We will go with simple React or Vue.js application, and finally we will also work on the deployment. So if you are interested understanding more on the Webpack, I request you to go through this particular playlist and get in-depth knowledge about the Webpack or the build tool for the front end. That's all for this video. Thank you for watching and see you in next one. Till now, thank you. Bye.